indifferently, and whoever is worthy is given fame in heaven. Of so of so much fame in heaven expect thy meed, O fountain Aretheus, and thou honoured flood, smooth sliding Minacus, crowned with vocal reeds, that strain I heard was of a higher mood. But now my oath proceeds and listens to the herald of the sea that came in Neptune's plea. He asked the waves and asked the fallow winds what hard mishap hath doomed this gentle swain, and questioned every gust of rugged wings that blows from off each beaked promontory. They knew not of his story. And says Hippotates. Here the poet says that the Neptune, who is sea god, asks all the he asks winds. He asks winds about the cause of Lycidas' death, and he inquires of them. Um, he inquires of them uh, if if Lycidas' death was uh, if Lycidas died because of the faults and mistakes of the winds, and questioned every gust of rugged winds that blows from off each beaked promontory. They knew not of his story, but the winds were unknown to the fact of uh, Lycidas' death. They did not know that Lycidas had died on the sea. Uh, they uh, they they pretended as if they they knew nothing. And says Hippotates, the answers bring that not a blast was from his dungeon strayed. The air was calm and on the level brain. Sleek Panope with her old sisters played. It was that fatal and perfidious bark. Hippotates, uh, who is the muse of wind, says to Neptune that not a blast um, came out of the dungeon where he had changed. He says that he had changed all the winds in a dungeon, and there was no wind, there was no blast, and the air was calm, and on the bottom of the sea, sleek Panope, the beautiful muse Panope, was playing with her sisters. So he want to say that the sea, when the Lycidas died, the sea was calm. There was no wind was blowing at the time. There was no blast. So he says that surely it was the deed of that fatal bark, the fatal boat, um, that could be the cause of Lycidas' death, that sunk so low that sacred head of thine. He says that it may be the bark or boat uh, who drowned Lycidas in the sea. Next, Camus, reverend sire, went footing slow, his mantle hairy, his bonnet sage, inwrought with figures dim, and on the edge, like to that sanguine flower, inscribed with woe. Next, Camus, reverend sire, went footing slow, his mantle hairy, his bonnet sage, inwrought with figures dim, and on the edge like to that sanguine flower, inscribed 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 with woe. Ah, who hath reft, quoth he, my dearest place. Last came and last did go. The pilot of the Galilean lake. Two massy keys he bore of metal twain, the golden orbs, the iron surts amain. He shook his mitred locks and stern bespake, how well could I have spared for thee, young swain, now such as for their belly's sake creep and intrude and climb into the fold. Of other care they little reckoning make, then how to crumble at the seer's feast and sow away the worthy bidden guest. Blind mouths that scarce themselves know how to hold a ship hook or have learned aught else the least that to the faithful herdman's art belongs. What recks it them? What need they? They are sped, and when they list, their lean and freshy songs grate on their screenal pipes of rest straw. The hungry sheep look up and are not fed, both with wind and the rank mist they draw. Wrought inwardly and foul contagion spread, beside what the grim of wolf with privy paw daily devours apace and nothing sad, but two-handed engines at the door stand ready to smite once and smite no more. In these lines, the poet gives a tirade on uh, on clergy. He criticizes the clergymen of his times. Uh, the clergymen of his time were gluttony and selfish. They were concerned only about their own materialistic gains. They were not concerned about the spiritual growth um, of their um, of their followers. Return Alpheus, the dread voices past that shrunk thy streams. Return Sicilian Muse, and call the whales, and bid them hither cast their bells and flowers of a thousand hues. Ye valleys, low, where the mild whispers use of sads and wanton winds, gushing brooks, on whose fresh lap the swart star sparely looks. Throw hither all your quaint enamelled eyes, that on the green turf sucks the honeyed showers, and purpled all the ground with vernal flowers. But bring the rather primrose that for second dies, the tufted cowtow, the pale jasmine and white pink, and the pansy freaked with jet and the glowing violet, the musk rose and the well attired woodbine with cowslips, when that sad embroidery wears, bid Amaranthus all his beauty shed, and daffodils fill their cups with tears, to strew the laureate hearse where Lycidas dies. In these lines, the poet says that um, hearing the threats of sea god Neptune, the muse Alpheus run away from there. So the poet uh, calls the muse Alpheus to return back, to come back he says that dread voice is past, that shrunk the stream, returned Sicilian muse, and he asked the Sicilian muse, who is Alpheus, to come back and call the wells and bid them either cast the bells and flowerets of 1,000 years. And he says to her that she should uh, that he asks her to call, um, he asks her to he asks her to address all the valleys and fields, to bring all the year flowers, to it means the poet addresses the Sicilian muse Alpheus and says to her that she should bring all the flowers uh, which are growing in valleys, to which are very different colored, and which are uh, different flowers, like um, like uh, like tufted croto, jasmine, white pink, and pansy freaked with jet, uh, glowing violet, musk rose, and well attired woodbine, cowslip, uh, embroidered cow slips, which said when that said embroidery wears, and amaranthus, daffodils, etc. He says that all these flowers should be strewn over the hearse of